every day when I come in, I say, hello, friends, and then they have to say back.
Howdy.
Hello. Okay, wow, we need to work on this, okay? Yes, hello, welcome to our speech mixer. We're so excited that you're here today. My name is Kelly Finley. I teach public speaking and introduction to communication here at South Plains College. My colleagues are making their way to the front. This is Janine Fox, another one of our instructors, Hillary Nixon, Rebecca Green, and then Miss Jen Holte. So these are your speech instructors that you've probably seen at least one of them several times throughout this semester. And so we're really excited you're here today. One of the reasons that we wanted to have this mixer is we are working very hard to promote our major, and a lot of our students have no idea you can major in communication studies. I didn't know that when I came to college. I had a teacher tell me that, and I thought, cool, talking, and it's a degree, I can do it. So that's really why I got my major in comm studies. But we do actually have two majors here at South Plains College. We were just gifted a new major, and we're super excited about it. So the first major that I want to talk about is speech communication, or communication studies. And that is what we all have a degree in. And so don't think that you can only teach with it, because there's a lot of things you can do. So speech communication is actually the study of how and why people communicate. It includes spoken and nonverbal communication. And it helps you develop high-impact presentations, conduct effective research and analysis, navigate diverse communication styles, and promotes critical thinking. And who would not be successful with those communication skills under your belt? A lot of our students ask us, yeah, but what do you do with it? So let me tell you what you can do with it. If you're thinking about going into HR, management, training and consulting, sales, law school, grad school, politics, lobbying, or any kind of helping and service industry, that's what you can do with a comms major, okay? So I always tell my students it's one of those things that there's not one thing you can do with it, there's a lot of things you can do with it. The other major that I would like to tell you about today is our brand new major. It's corporate and organizational communication, and we're so excited about getting this major in our area. And so corporate communication, that is the consideration, analysis, and criticism of the role of communication in organizational context. It focuses on how organizations handle their internal and external communication, especially in our very diverse world today with all the different communication avenues that we have. And it promotes overall healthy communication in any kind of organization. If you're planning on going into business, into any kind of nonprofit or any government agency, corporate communication is the way to go. So one of the things that I always tell my students, if you're here and you're in college and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna get a degree, but I don't know what I'm doing, think about communication studies, because it's such a wonderful degree to have under your belt with there's no bad things that come across. You know, I've never been in an interview and someone told me, ooh, you communicate too well. It's not good for us, right? Everyone loves communication skills, so that's what we are here to promote, those two majors. The last thing that I want to talk about is our communication contest. Last year we started a communication contest, and we are so very excited to continue it this year. We call it Comic-Con, okay? That's short for communication contest. It's not Comic Con, okay? We did have a student come ask us what character he should dress up as. Not the same thing, all right? The communication contest asks any of our students that have taken a speech class. It could have been last year, could be this semester, could be next semester. If you've taken a speech class at South Plains College, you are eligible to participate in the Comic-Con. You create a persuasive speech, which most of you are doing in your classes already, and then you give it to two different panels. Okay, last year we had 2 rounds. We may have more if we get more students interested, but we had 27 students last year participate, so it's a good number for our first year. You give your persuasive speech, a group of teachers judge it, and then we send you on to the finals round where you have a guest panel of judges. And what do you get out of it? Well, if you're in the class, you get bonus points, and if you're not in the class, you get cash prizes and scholarship money, okay? So last year we gave our first place winner $600 in scholarship money, and our second place winner earned $400 in scholarship money. So it's just a way to promote our major and what we're doing and give you some credit for all those hard things that you're learning in our class every single day. So we're really thankful that you're here. We want to welcome you. Remember, if you haven't signed in, make sure you do that, and we're gonna hand it over to our panelists. We know that some of you have 1 o'clock classes. If you have to leave early, don't worry about it, okay? Just stay as long as you can.
with the speech department, the Alumni Association is also so excited to welcome you to this event today. What we're going to be doing today is our first Backpack to Briefcase series. In other words, we are going to be helping you in that transition from the classroom into the workforce, trading your backpack for your briefcase. So, thank you all so much. I hope that you really enjoy our wonderful panelists today. They've taken some time out of their work schedules and their busy days to come and just share their knowledge with you and to help you succeed, because we are all former students at South Plains College, and we are so very proud of this college and what we can do. And so we want to just continue that legacy of greatness and excellence because of our students. So thank you so much for being here. I am going to introduce our panelists for this afternoon. First, Ms. Tanya Moody. She is the owner and operator at KLVT Radio here in Levelland, Texas, so you may have heard her voice over the radio a few mornings. Thank you so much for being here. Mr. Derek Dunn, who is the owner and operator at Black Diamond Limousine. He has began that company and has grown it exponentially for his clientele. And Mrs. Kate Silva, Director of Social Media at Primitive Social. And they are doing some great things over there at Primitive, and we are so excited to begin this. So without further ado, let's get into our first panel question. First, we're going to be talking just a little bit about the do's and don'ts of an interview process. So whoever would like to begin that conversation?
I'll kick it off. All right, I have had the great pleasure of interviewing many people throughout my time at KLVT Radio. And one of the things that maybe is a little, I guess, maybe overlooked when people come to an interview is attire. You know, I know in this day and age, we're all used to people being casual. You know, we like to express ourselves. We like to, you know, we just want them to accept us for who we are. That's great in theory, folks, but it doesn't work out so much when it comes to an interview many times. So, know your audience. Know who you're going to see. Is it a professional situation? If it is, look professional. Don't wear flip-flops. Don't wear booty shorts. Don't, you know, make sure that you look as good as you can for the job, and trust me when I say you will feel it. You will be more confident when you go into that interview, and that person interviewing you will greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think knowing who you're going to speak to really, like, you know, lends itself to how you present yourself. I also think it's important to do your research on who you're interviewing with. Know their culture, know what they stand for, what they're looking for, and I think it's important to look inside yourself and find out what your weaknesses are, what your what your best qualities are that suit that particular business. You know, so if you're going to be interviewing with a communications type of business, like a marketing agency, like find out how you would, you know, best benefit the company by working there. You know, I think a lot of people would go online and find out, what do I say in an interview? Or no one wants to hear that you're a perfectionist and that's your weakness. Really find out what your weakness is, and then, you know, go forth and present that, you know, in the way that best suits you, because you know, an interview is about finding if you're a good fit for that business. It's not just about if they're going to hire you. You know, I think that's important too, is knowing where you're going to work and are you going to be happy there. So,
Tanya, I think you hit the biggest one, especially at my company, is about how you dress. You know, you come in to you know, you want to drive a limousine. We have a very large fleet, and I can't tell you how many people want to come drive. I mean, it's just over the top how many people want that job. But dressing is the biggest part, I think. She already hit the number one, but the second, I think, is come in and be knowledgeable, but don't know everything. You know, I've had that before, and when they come in and go, well, I've done it over here at this company for this many years, well, that doesn't mean we do the same thing they do. And it doesn't mean that you know everything. And be knowledgeable, but don't let it go over the top either. You know, I think that's that, and dressing is the two biggest in my book.
And I'll add one more, don't chew gum. That's, you know, I know we get in our own little habits of, you know, things that we do, but it's those little things that will either irritate or immediately affect the feel of that interview. And I would hate for you to not get a job because you were sitting there chewing gum. I mean, what a silly reason to not get a job, right? And then also, one last thing, cell phones. Folks, we know how we all depend on our cell phones. Mine is in my purse right now. It's not even on vibrate, it's on silent because you guys have my undivided attention right now. If my radio station is burning down, I have a station manager that will take care of it and file the paperwork, okay? So just when you go in, make sure you've cleared your schedule. You know, if it's a busy week for you, or you're waiting to hear how your dad just came through surgery or something, you know what, don't schedule at that time. You know, make sure that those people that are interviewing you have your undivided attention, because the last thing they want to see is, oh, I'm sorry, hold on, it's just going to be a minute. No, don't do that.
I agree.
Thank you. So now that we know a little bit about the interview process, a little bit more in depth with that is, what do employers look for in potential employees past that interview process?